I wanted to create a video about syncing grades from Schoology to PowerTeacher Pro. And generally, if you're at your main landing page, if you pick the course where you want to sync grades, I'm going to go ahead and pick this World History Civilization for 4th period class. This was recently linked and is now unlinked, so it's kind of like starting fresh. And just give it a second to load. I have slow internet. So I know that we go to our course and we go to materials, we create materials. So usually we go here and we say, okay, I want to make an assignment or a test or an assessment. You can also have a discussion. So once you make those, I'm going to go ahead and click in this folder because I know there's one in here. So we can send some of those over to PowerTeacher, like this daily questions could go, this one could go, and this one could go. I generally like to start with the gear on the right, and I'm going to go down and take a look at the settings for this material. This is where you want to kind of get things right from the start, and where if you ever have problems, this is where you're going to go back and look. So the beauty of this is once you name an assignment and give it all of the information in Schoology, then you press a button and it goes to PowerSchool. You do not have to retype all of this. So here's the name of our assignment. Let's give it a due date of the 12th, since that's what it says up here in the actual assignment. And I know this is going to fall in Q2. Now, the thing that you're going to want to check is you're going to want to give it a category. If you've not created categories yet, you can do it from here. So I'm going to click Create New Category, and I'm going to call this Daily Questions, which I've already created in another course, so it's showing up again. You can type anything there and it'll create that category. And you do want to be on the default grading scale according to what Brandy told us years ago. So I'm going to click Save Changes on this. And if for any reason you just click in the assignment, let's say you've made the assignment and you click in the assignment, that's fine. Wait for this to load. Over here in just a second. Yep, this is what happens when you have slow internet. What you're going to want to do is you can also check those same settings out from right here by going back to edit, and it'll bring up that same window. So you can see here everything looks pretty good, and I'm just going to close that out. So these students, we can see these scores here, and like I said, these classes were linked and then they were unlinked, so that's bringing up some extra issues, but nothing that I can't handle. Okay. So what I was going to have you look at next was basically your grade setup. So if we go in to grade setup, remember how a second ago I made daily questions, you may think, well, what other categories do I want or need? What you can do is take a look at your PowerTeacher. So I'm going to go into PowerTeacher and I'm going to go ahead and select that same 4th period just to make sure that we have everything the same. Go over to the left to grading. Select categories, and we do have some corporation categories, and then we have some categories that we as teachers have made. So you can take a look at some of these, and now I'm going to go back in and I'm going to add some things we just saw. So I know that we saw test, so I will type test, and I like total points and drop lowest 0 and hit create. Let's just do a few categories. I'll go ahead and click add. And I'm going to add quiz and create. So now I've got a few categories. Brandy told us years ago to go with default grading scale. Click that to default it there. You can default so that whenever you make an assignment, it always comes up as one of these first, and then you can change it with a drop down. So that would be up to you if you want to default. And don't worry about final weights. We have that set up in PowerTeacher. Gradebook scale, again, we want that default. And down here, you can hide these because the Schoology gradebook is not official. So we're going to save those changes. And now what I'm going to do is really quick, I'm going to take a look at gradebook. Give it just a second here. And you can see we do have some of these scores. So what I'm hoping to do is to get hopes to and Clears 2, and Kinsey 0, etc. over to PowerSchool. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom and click PowerSchool. And if you're doing this for the first time, it's going to ask you to approve, authorize, or connect. It's going to prompt you to do something. So I'm going to go into configuration. Give this a moment here. And although this is very tiny, it is actually very important. You want it to automatically shorten assignment titles, especially if they're really long. For one reason or another, you cannot send really long titles from Schoology to PowerSchool. So we've got to line these up. And I did not make a classwork, so it's not showing up here. That's something I would have to do at grade setup. But I know that I did do it for daily questions, for quiz, and for test. So for now, and you can go back and do these other ones later. So I'm going to hit save on this, and you should get a green note telling you you're good to go. And I'm going to go into sync grades. And you'll notice a minute ago, I think all of these said view error, but I got this one set up with that category and the grading period that we wanted in. And now it says not yet synced. And it has these 2 arrows going in a circle, but it does not say view error. Sometimes when you hover over view error, it tells you what the error is. In this case, a category is required. Sometimes it'll just say there's a problem. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to queue this up. This could take anywhere from 30 seconds. This might take 30 minutes, 30 days. It just depends on how PowerSchool and Schoology are working. I'll hit pause for us. So this one took a few minutes and now it says it's successful. So I'm going to a PowerTeacher Pro and I am wanting to look at the score sheet. Yeah, let's go to score sheet. I could have gone to assignment list, but we'll go to score sheet. And I'm going to hit refresh to see if the grade did get sent over, and it was the daily questions for October 12th. That's what we're looking for. That's what we hope to see. So here it is, daily questions, and if I kind of hover over this, I'll go ahead and go to assignment so we can see that full name. So daily questions, October 12th, religion document, and then there we can see Hopes 2, Claire's 2, and if we go back to world history, and we go to gradebook. Sometimes it doesn't like me clicking on things when I'm in Loom for some reason. Okay, I had to get away sort of from that toolbar there. So I'm in the Schoology gradebook, and there's Hope, and there's her 2, and then we have these grades here. So again, just looking at PowerTeacher Pro, there's Hopes 2. So if you have questions about this or anything else, please let me know. I hope you have success syncing your grades.